Hey, Terry McElroy, good morning. There we go. Hey, we're talking about the Paul Chryst firing today. Finally, Facebook woke up and is letting me broadcast, I guess. It's kind of cool. Bill, I know, Bill Surgenian talking about Paul Chryst. Bill Surgenian, we got to get together, my friend. I'm trying to talk to your buddy Powers on the other line here. Hey, Bill, you have any comments about Paul Chryst? There we go. Oh, you can never get enough Leonard Skinner on a Monday morning. What is your name? What's your name? Well, what's your name for the head coach of the Badgers? Jimmy Leonard. That's his name. That's who's there now, and that's who is going to be leading the Wisconsin Badgers going forward. And what a surprise. I mean, a mid-season firing, that is just not something that you see that often. And, I'm surprised by it. I am. Because, here's the team that he's recruited and spent the time on. And the guy's not a slouch. I mean, he's having a tough year this year for some reason. Don't know what that is. I mean, we brought in a brand new offensive coordinator, right? We've got Graham Mertz. Like I said, I think the kid could be a good quarterback if he gets protection and all that. But you've got a coach that's got some credentials. I mean, Paul Chryst is, of any fault that he has, there's two of them. One is he's a nice guy, and the second thing is that publicly he's not flamboyant. He's just that football coach, that's out there and doing his thing. And I'm not making any excuses. I mean, the fish rots from the head down is what I've been told in life, but I don't know if I agree with that. But was it the embarrassment by Brett Bielema that caused all this? I mean, you got a coach here that has, man, a 67-26 record since 2015. Again, he's been Big Ten Coach of the Year how many times? Twice. 6 postseason bowl games. He had a 9-4 record last year, an undefeated season in 2017. Where are we going with this? And putting Jimmy Leonard in there, I don't know if that's a blessing or not for Jim, right? I'm not sure. Both of them. I think Jim Leonard will do great, but he better be better. As Mike Power says, Leonard will do great, but Paul Chryst should have had the whole season. I agree. Here's the thing, is that Leonard better do better than his DBs have been doing and his defense has been doing. The DBs are giving passes away, and you and I call our games every Friday night. You know that's what we're looking at. We're watching this. Is it that I don't know. Is it that Chris McIntosh is done with that old style run heavy offense and he wants to throw in the passing game? He wants to get more flamboyant in our offense? I'm not sure. I don't see where we're going to get that. To get that passing game going, then you better have a line that's going to step up and block. And the line has had a challenge with that this year. Also, the guys have got to catch the ball. That's another issue. So, coming into the Northwestern game, maybe they thought this was a down game, or a game that, they could just let her go, but it's going to be an interesting scenario. The thing I have here with this is that, does this mean that you're going to see the transfer portal open up again and we're going to lose some people? I mean, you got a damn good running back, Braylon Allen, and he likes Chryst. He came there because of him, and his tweets and all that are showing his loyalty to his coach. So where do we go with this? Where do we go? I mean, we're 0-2 in the Big Ten West, which isn't saying much since the others in that group have one loss also. We still have time to correct that little critter because we're not playing Michigan or Penn State to fix that. But the firing of Paul Chryst and then giving it to Jimmy Leonard, wow, it just seems fishy. Now, what I mean by it, yeah, Leonard is an alumni. He was a walk-on. Remember that? He was a walk-on. They didn't give him a scholarship. He had to earn it himself, and he did. What do you have, like 21 or 25 interception in his time at Wisconsin? Went on to a successful pro career. And then to have Paul Chryst give him his first coaching opportunity here at Wisconsin is huge. But yeah, he's a Wisconsin kid. He's an alum. He's going to step in. What is he going to be able to do in a short period of time to get this team going? Now, Mike Powers has got a great question. So how long should a coach or a manager lead a team? Patience is required, but how long? That development cycle. I mean, these are Paul Chryst recruits that are out there playing right now. Now, with all this said, I mean, it's the guys on the field that you've recruited that are the ones that should be doing what they were hired to do. And if you don't think college football players were hired, well, they're getting one of the greatest educations there is. Just ask Gary Anderson. Then you're crazy. But part of the responsibility has to be on the captains, the seniors, juniors, of going out there and producing. 10 and 11 penalties a game is just unheard of. That's a lot of mental breakdown. And does that come from your head coach? Does it come from your specialty coach? So if you're not familiar with football, is it your receiver coach, quarterback coach, line coach, DB coach, linebacker coach, coaching, defensive coordinator? Who's it come from? Who's it come from? And I've said earlier, I've been around Paul Chryst. I've had conversations with him. I played golf with him several times. Just a down-to-earth guy, but the dude likes to win. And I'm going to tell you, I know his heart's breaking right now. For first of all, not having the wins that we have, to having that whole can of whoop 'em opened up on us against Ohio State. But where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Can Jimmy Leonhard turn this team around where they are stronger mentally, they execute, and they win? Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Bill's Virginian says, Mertz will go elsewhere with Allen and watch him succeed with an offensive line and receivers. So who's Wisconsin's quarterback next year? How patient are Badger fans with a new QB next year? That is so true. That is so true. And if this is going to be a rebuilding time, if that's what we're going to work on, then Jimmy Leonhard's gone at the end of the year. He'll be gone. They're already throwing names out there, and it's again. I don't know if I'd want to be Jimmy Leonhard. Sitting in that room with Chris McIntosh, and saying to you, Jim Leonhard, Jim, I'm letting Paul Chryst go. He'll be stepping down as our head coach, and my idea here is, I know you've wanted to be a head coach. I'm going to give you the opportunity to step in here, see what you can do to turn this team around, and see what you can do. Can you take it to the next level? You got that in you? Can you do it? Well, Jimmy Leonhard would be crazy to say no, because what he's going to have a chance to do here, he's got a win-win scenario. Because if we finish out the season and he doesn't do that well, right? Then it's Paul Chryst's problem, right? He just couldn't right the ship. But if he does, his value just went up. And $5 million a year? Yeah, you better sharpen that pencil, Chris McIntosh. $5 million, huh? Just because it's nice guys finished last. You remember Paul Chryst did during COVID? He cut his income because of it. He cut his income. He cut his salary. Nice guy. And then, so he's let go, and who goes into a closed-door meeting with the team and all the support staff and everybody? Paul Chryst, Jimmy Leonhard, Chris McIntosh, to tell the team what's just happened. That takes guts. That is showing, I think, with Paul Chryst, that shows his respect for the team, the school, and the organization. Just something else. I made a comment that the reason he was fired was because the mob, the cancel culture, came out and started just nailing this guy. When's Paul Chryst going to be gone? When's Paul Chryst going to be gone? And boy, did I get attacked. I got canceled on that one. That was a good one. Paul Chryst, great a great football player. I think he's a great head coach. And he will move on and coach elsewhere. You wait and see. And he'll have a successful program. Just a good guy. Just a good guy. Now, we need to get behind Jimmy Leonhard. And we got to get behind our Badgers. So, I know that they're going to be interviewed. They've got people already. Lance Leopold, from Whitewater, great guy, right? Dave Aranda from Baylor. They've got that name on there already. They've got Fickle out of Cincy. They're going to interview. I like how Chris McIntosh, who's sitting next to Jimmy Leonard, well, it would just be crazy when he was asked the question, are you going to be searching for a new head coach, or is Jim Leonard going to be the head coach? And something like, I think it would be fair to the program and to the school if we do a search. Yeah. How do you feel about that, Jimmy Leonard? There's your confidence, right? Doesn't matter. He accepted the reins. He's accepted the responsibility. He believes that he can get these kids moving and playing the way they should be playing. He's accepted it. So let's get over everything else and let's move forward on it and see what we can do. But when you lose to Illinois, oh my gosh, that was a terrible game. And to see, I called him the big pumpkin that was down there, Brad Bielema. I was going to call him bulimic, but he's definitely not bulimic. I just can't believe we lost that game because Illinois is not that good. They got a good running back, but I thought we could play a lot better than we did. And some of the play calling as an armchair quarterback, and I think I have that right as an armchair quarterback. I can do that. When you spend a lot of time watching film, watching plays, and all this, and how they're structured and all that, I think got a pretty good insight. And there are times I just don't get the plays that they call. But I'm sure that everybody does that. Now, if I was down on the field as the offensive coordinator or up in the booth with time ticking off the clock and I got to get a play in and get it all structured, my receivers get their plays, the line call, and the actual play, might be a little bit different. I know. So here's the thing to talk about. Paul Chryst is owed $16.4 million payout on his contract. Should he get that? Because Chris McIntosh has already said in the interview that ain't happening. But he's going to talk about that later. Should he be paid out that contract? You got one of the winningest coaches for Badger football. You know that, right? Yeah. He's not doing too bad. 43-18 in conference play. 67-26 overall. What do you think about that? If he was at $5 million, what do you think Jimmy Leonard's going to get? Huh? I don't know. Football, right? Football. Let me tell you about football. We had two fantastic games on Friday night here in this town. Homecoming, right? And Madison East Cardinals won 62-12 over Milton. And in the West Wolves, big win, 21-14 over Beaver Dam. And that was a fight. That was a huge fight. Impressive game at East. Mike Powers and I making the call. And what I want to tell you was the team was running on all cylinders. You've seen such an improvement at that game compared to the previous game, where few penalties, kids executed, did their jobs, and came out on top 62-12. And the ones were out by like the second play. You know, he was out. All the ones were out by like the second play of the third quarter. And we saw some good talent out there for our Cardinals. West, now I haven't seen the game yet for West, but I will get to that this week. I always try to watch that. They did a fantastic job. They fought. They came from behind, and they shuffled back and forth, 21-14, and they're taking on DeForest this week. So they're going to need all the help that they can get, my friends. I tell you, DeForest is a tough team. a tough team. And that'll be brought to you. Both teams are away this week, which I think is interesting. So that'll be brought to you either on KSUN or Kids 4. If you go to the app and download the app, the Sun Prairie Media Center app, you can actually flip back and forth between games and see both games. One will be on KSUN, the other one will be on Kids 4. And it makes it very easy. And then you can also broadcast that app up to your internet-based TV if you have one. If you've never done that, it's pretty cool. I think you would enjoy doing that. Football, man, our Cardinals are doing well. Our Wolves, I think, are doing well. The Wolves have got a huge fight for the rest of the season. Mike, I thought we were both away, buddy. Yeah, I have to check that. Right here, right now. Right here. And hold on one second as I go to my special thing. Sun Prairie West is at DeForest. And then they'll play Oregon at home, Michael. Just letting you know, buddy. Oh. East is on the road for 2 weeks, yes. West is away this week and home next week. Yeah, we finished East in the Cardinals. We finished our home stand. So, yeah. There you have it. Let's do this. I'm going to go back and we're going to take a little bit of a break, and then we're going to reset the show and come back and let's get caught up. Let's talk about a lot of different things. Hey, did I tell you that Bristol Street's open? I mean, that's pretty cool in itself right there, right? How about a little bit of Bill Withers right here on 103.5 WLSP, The Sun. Hey, Facebook. Mike Powers, thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Man, I about fell on my chair last night watching the Packer game, and I see the announcement that Paul Chryst has been fired. And big surprise. Big surprise. Got to find out some other things that are going on here. Sounds good, Mike. Thanks, buddy. Facebook, if you've got something that's out there that needs to be announced, let me know, would you? Baron Brooks will open at 7:30. What? Thanks, Billy. Let's get together. Yeah. Are you going to World Dairy Expo? You got some cows to go check on? Hey, Kim, good morning. Thanks for joining the show. Seth Daly, you're awesome, bud. Do we have sunspots? Do we have any sunspots to read?
We'll have some Friday.
We don't have them now, though?
Nah.
Okay, I was looking. I couldn't find any.
Sorry.
No worries. Hey, Judy, good morning.
Good morning. Okay, campers, rise and shine. Good morning, Sun Prairie, and welcome to Baker Street.
The question isn't what are we going to do, the question is what aren't we going to do.
This calls for the old Billy Baroo.
Time to rise and shine. Now here's your host, Bill Baker.
Hey, thanks, Lisa, and thanks for that introduction. My former producer, Miss Lisa Wolf, who hangs out down in, where is that? Watertown now, right? As the executive director of their media center. Thanks for that. Appreciate it. Had a great week of football. Had a great weekend of, well, I thought it was great. I mean, I got to, both our Sun Prairie teams won, went to the Badger game. It was a beautiful day. Had an enjoyable time tailgating, showed houses before the game, got some yard work done. It was just a fantastic kind of weekend. Then got to sit and watch the Badger or the Packers and Aaron Rodgers, and the guy's got to stop shaking his head. I got to tell you, I know. Yes, receivers need to catch the ball. Yes, they do, and see, it even happens in the pros. But when you have a Hall of Fame quarterback that's sitting there looking at you and wondering why am I throwing the ball to you, and you just keep dropping it, or they're running the wrong pattern, I guess that's not a good thing. But it was good. It was a good time. We had a great time. Hey, here's some news for you. Bristol Street is open. It is open, and it looks awesome. You wait till you drive down it. It's pretty cool. I love what they did to it. So I thought they did that pretty fast, to be honest with you. Maybe you don't think so, but I thought they did a nice job and got it done really, really quick out there. But Sunshine Supper tonight. It's Sloppy Joe's is what's on there, and yeah, don't forget to swing by. And this is going to be, it's sponsored by the Sun Prairie Utilities tonight. Sloppy Joe's, carrots, and potato salad. It's like a picnic in the fall, you know. Sunshine Supper, just cruise down Main Street and go behind, get in line, and get set. Tell them how many meals that you need, and they will bring it right out to your car. What a great program, and I'm so proud to be a part of that. I won't be there tonight. I'll be there next week. So stop by. And by the way, Sunshine Supper, it's a community-based meal. There's no judgment here. We want to have a meal together. And, by the way, we'll be coming inside for a trial run in November. Yes, we will. We're going to do the sit-down again and see how that goes. We are concerned about missing people, but it's going to be interesting. We got to transition back. You know, a couple of years ago, we went from being inside and couldn't figure out how we were going to do it outside, do it safely. We did that very well, and the teams did a fantastic job. That's what I want you to know. So, yeah. It was awesome, I thought. I like being outside and seeing everybody come through the line. I really do. I get to talk to everybody, see how you're doing, get caught up on what's going on, give you any updates or support or help that I can. And I've met a lot of wonderful people, and it's just great to see Sun Prairie people smiling. And if we can bring you smiles, that's a good thing, right? We got elections are coming up in November. Don't forget to go and register to vote. Go down to City Hall and take care of that right away. Take your driver's license, passport, or your a utility bill, bank statement, so it can show that you are a resident of Sun Prairie, and they'll take care of that for you. That's down there. It's going to be an interesting election. I can't wait for it to be over because I don't know about you, but I am sick and tired of all the political ads. And I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of those political ads. All the negativity. They should have a broadcast rule that if it's negative, you can't broadcast it. Something like that. Yeah, you just can't. And also, the fact checking needs to be done, right? And if it's not true, pull it off the air. Maybe fine them time. Something like that. Makes the cost a little bit more, but Hey, well, so what do you think about this with politicians, whether it's president or senator, state representative, whatever it is? And we've got an interesting race running right here to take Gary Hebel's seat. That's when you mix seat and Hebel together and get Siebel. My mouth's not working, I guess. I'm still in that shock of the Paul Chryst thing. We've got an interesting race that's happening right now, and we'll have we've got two individuals that are out there campaigning right now that are running for his seat. They're fighting because he retired. I saw him at the Badger game the other day. I'm sure he's not too happy about the outcome on Saturday, but. So learn who your candidates are. Learn their issues. I'm going to try and get them scheduled in here for next Monday. See if we can get that done. I like to do both of them the same day. They won't be together. I'll interview them separately because I think it's more fun that way. Yeah, I do anyway. So we'll get into that. Try and help you as much as I can and give you the information that you need to make an educated decision on it. But so how about this? President, senator, whatever. What if the federal government just said, all right, I'm going to give you X dollars to campaign with? How well do you think that would go over? Probably be like never mind. It probably wouldn't work too well, right? Because they'd be throwing a fit, right? That way you can't have the political action groups and all that. They can't come out and attack. All the money has to come through the government, and if you're going to be a candidate and you win that role and you've made it through the primaries, then they hand you, boom, here's $1 million, $2 million, $1 billion, whatever, and that's it. You run out of money, you're done. And then set up requirements to do like the debates and all that. Oh yeah, I mean, just lay this thing out. And that would be us taking control of the election process. It is, but it's interesting out there. I mean, it's so. When I say it's interesting, I don't mean it in a positive way. The negativity and the polarization of politics has got to go away. I don't mind competition. I really don't. It's that negativity and that hatred. And that the sky is blue. No, it's not. You know, crawling up every orifice of a politician to pull out dirt. Well, you know, it bothers me if somebody is running for office and they don't have dirt. It's like, do they have real world experience? Nobody's perfect, guys. Somebody's gonna get a speeding ticket. I don't know. But it's an interesting time. If we could just straighten that out, man, that'd be so good. Hey, I am proud to announce that I've been appointed to the real estate committee that we have here, and I think we're getting a brand new person that's been hired recently. And let me see if I can find her. But for me, that's just quite an honor, I think. And, you know, the thing also is that when you are on one of these committees or these commissions, you can actually get paid for it. I don't know if you realize that or not. I choose to volunteer. Becky Binns as the new Housing and Equitable Development Planner. Looking forward to meeting her. Can't wait. And I also can't wait to help put an insight in from the real estate side of the world on this. But yeah, if you're on a committee or commission, you get paid to do that. I think it's like $35 per meeting, or you can just donate it, and that's what I decided to do. Go by example. I'm donating that back to the city, letting the city keep it. How's that? I'm not donating it, letting the city keep it, and that way I can help with real estate. I know a little bit about the real estate. Denny Barris, good morning. Val, good morning, hon. All the way from Michigan. Wow. Denny, are you in Florida or are you in Wisconsin? So we got that going. You got to watch your the star and see what kind of activities are coming up I know there's some things that are happening. I don't have them in front of me. In fact, if you have an activity, if you're a nonprofit out there and you want to get your information out, we'll do it for you at no cost. We will. If you've got an event coming up and you want it broadcast on the radio, even the TV, we'll be happy to do that for you. And so just get your information to Jeff Robbins here at the studio, and he will make sure that it's put into what we call sunspots, and we'll get it announced. I mean, you've got we are the station of the year as chosen by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association, so you know people are listening to us, and so we would you'd think that you'd want to get your word out and use the best mechanism possible for that, right? Of course, say yes. Yes, all right. Let's see, what else we got to talk about? Sun Prairie Real Estate Show is going to be this Wednesday at 11 o'clock. We're going to talk about, we're still going to talk about the trends that are going on and what's happening out there. And with the interest rate hike again, how that's going to affect us. And for you folks out there coming into this election here, and you want to talk about apartments, well, you better get used to it, because as those rates go up, along with the price of housing going up, and it's still going up, then people aren't going to be able to afford a new home, and so their only choice is going to be to rent. And right now, even with the newer properties coming up, we're running about 94 to 96% occupancy, which means they're pretty much full. So be on the lookout for this. So I'm hoping we can do some stuff here in Wisconsin to change those the affordability of housing here right away. Right? Let's do this. Let's go back to some music and get you set up that way. How about a little bit of Queen right here? I love this song, Bohemian Rhapsody, on 103.5 WLSP. Mitch Anderson, what's up? Mitchell. It is Mitchell Anderson. What's going on, man? So after the this little news break, and if you're on Facebook right now and you're watching for the first time, and you're wondering why I'm not playing music, Facebook doesn't like music. They don't think that we have a license. We're a radio station, a license to provide the music and also play it over Facebook. And so we go through a lot of battles with this. And I could play it. And what they do is they actually will shut down the show on Facebook. Don't know why that happened. They just don't listen. And Meta, I guess, not Facebook, but Meta is the organization that does it, and it's just a killer. So that's why you're not hearing the music right now, and I believe me, I wish I could change that. If you would like to hear the music, you can go to 103.5 FM. You can go to the Sun Prairie Media Center app, and you can actually stream the show live on the app, listen to the music, and then I have some people that actually mute the music or the app when I come back onto Facebook or on the radio, whichever one you want to do. It doesn't matter. But the playlist today is back from May of 23rd, 2022. It's called Bill's Time Capsule. I like this when I play this a lot at home. And so I just thought I would add the playlist today, and hopefully you enjoy it. Bohemian Rhapsody is a great song, and Babe is coming up next with Styx. So another great sound. If you do have any questions, if you have, like I said, if you have an activity, a tailgate or something like that, like Sun Prairie West did not too long ago, and you want to get that information here on the radio station or on TV, we're happy to do it for you. Be glad to do that. And I'll talk about the involvement in the media center here at the next after Styx. Got to check to make sure music is playing. Albert Porter, good morning, buddy. Sticks and Babe right here on 103.5 WLSP, The Sun. Good morning, everybody. Bill Baker here with Good Morning Sun Prairie. We're underwritten by those wonderful folks at the Bank of Sun Prairie and, of course, the Baker Realty Group, where we always bring you home. Hey, I wanted to let you know also, I was talking about our candidates, and I really want to try and get them on the air possibly by next Monday, see if we can get that. So the candidates are Melissa Ratcliffe, who's a Democrat, and then also Andrew McKinney. They are the ones that are looking for your vote, so I'm going to get them into the studio and see if we can find out why we should vote for which one, or who we should vote for, or what they think about Sun Prairie. What are they going to do for Sun Prairie? That's what I want to know. That's what I always ask. What are you going to do for us? You know, you need to have our back in here, I tell you. And they're running for the State Assembly District in the 46th District. And so we're going to have them on and chat with them a little bit. Hey, I want to tell you about something that happened to me, and I just don't get this. And I know there's a few of you that are on right now. Oh, by the way, if you're interested in the playlist that I have, you're welcome to go in and borrow it, download it. I have it set up as public. It's on Spotify. And go to Bill Baker or look up Baker William J. Go to Bill Baker, find it, go on. You're welcome to download any of the about 55 different playlists that I have on there, even some podcasts that are there. Lon Hensler, good morning. About time you got on. I was going to have a fit if you didn't log on sooner or later. People are watching us. If you're listening on the radio, people are watching us right now on Facebook. You're welcome to do that. Go to Facebook, type in Baker William J, and it'll pop right up. Or you can go to the Sun Prairie Media Center Facebook page, watch us there, or you can go to my YouTube page. You can watch me everywhere. I think that's just a cool thing to do. But yeah. So here, this is what I want to tell you about. And I don't get this, and maybe you guys can help me out. Maybe I'll fall on deaf ears. I don't know. But something that's prior to real estate, prior to being your realtor of choice here in Sun Prairie, I ran a medical company called Baker Healthcare Distribution. We're the largest family wholesale distributor of medical equipment and supplies in the state. And I had a second company called Care Solutions, where I did billing for the third-party billing for nursing homes, basically. And so I have a background in healthcare, billing, insurance, things like that. I'm not an insurance agent. I don't play one. I let my buddies Matt Harms and Matt Steinmetz, let them take care of that stuff. But here's the thing. This hit me this week, and I've got to call and do some more conversation with Dean Care today. Because let me tell you what. All right, so a few weeks ago, I did my thing. I'm 61 years old. So at 50 years old, I had my first colonoscopy. Wonderful thing to have. Had my second one at a little over 60, and so that was done. But while I was having the colonoscopy, they noticed that I stopped breathing several times while on the table. It wasn't anything scary. They just said I went, and then there you go. You kept it. Now I'll tell you right now, I had one of the best naps I've ever had. Oh yeah, one of the best naps I have ever had. So. But they told me I stopped breathing, told me I should go in and get a sleep study done. Now, I've had one before and passed with flying colors. Actually, not with flying colors. What they said was lose weight and sleep on your side. and at that time, I was a back sleeper. And so it was a challenge. I got to tell you, it was a challenge. But I did it. So now they want me to have another sleep study. So I do. I go to Beaver Dam. I meet a doctor up there, Castillo, who lives in Sun Prairie, by the way. And he's decided that I should have an in-house, or not an in-house, what do you call it? In-clinic sleep study. Okay. He says, hey, we need to get this pre-authorized before you do anything. Okay, I understand pre-authorization. And so he said, it'll probably take 2 weeks, which surprises me. 2 weeks. 2 weeks to find out if I'm going to be alive or not. Because if you're not breathing when you're sleeping, you're not breathing when you're sleeping, and that's a concern. So we go through the process, and it actually has been almost 3 weeks. And I'm contacted. They want to get me in, and last week they contacted me and said, "Hey, we've had a cancellation. We can get you in Monday night." I'm like, "Wow, that's cool. All right, I can do Monday night." Yeah, I mean, I said, I wake up about 5 o'clock. I've got a 6 o'clock workout that I do on Tuesday mornings, and they're like, "No problem. You should be fine." And it's over by Fitchburg and all this stuff. Well, so they get that going, and then I get this notification and these like frantic phone calls. First of all, DeanCare doesn't call you unless it's an issue. Had to go on Friday to get my COVID test. I passed with flying colors, of course. And but I opened up my chart that Dean provides, courtesy of Epic, and in there was a $5,300 bill. I'm like, where'd that come from? So I looked at it more, and what I found out is that the procedure is $6,900. Yep, for me to go take a nap or to sleep at the clinic with electrodes and everything hooked up to me, it's going to be $6,900. Now, I'd rather go to the Ritz-Carlton for $6,900. For how about $300 for one night? And let somebody sit there, pay them to watch me. $6,900. So I'm looking at this, and it's got the numbers sitting there, and I'm like, all right, I don't get this. Where's this $5,300 come from? Well, what it was SSM, which is Sisters of the Sorrowful Mother, by the way. Used to be a client of mine. They charge $6,900 for the procedure, and then their insurance company, their sister company, DeanCare, they're the same group, same people, same all that. They're only allowing $1,900, and that's not my 20%, by the way. No. So they're only allowing $1,900 of the $6,900. I don't know where the $400 comes in, and I'm like, what's going on with this? And at first I'm looking at them, I'm like, no way, there's got to be a mistake on this. So I talk about it, I reach out to them, and they're like, well, sir, that's what we only allow $1,900 for this. I said, well, what did SSM say when you talked to them about it, that they're overcharging me $5,000? Well, sir, that's not our job. I'm like, it's your sister company. Reach across the table at dinner and tell them you're charging too much for sleep studies. Or SSM, and this is will be my conversation today with the doctor. Have SSM call DeanCare and say, why aren't you paying what you should be paying for sleep studies? Do you see the quandary here? Well, have you ever had that situation? It just drives me crazy. And here's the thing about healthcare: they just shove it down your throat. They think you're just going to go along with it. Well, I come from a medical family, and I started Baker Healthcare from scratch. I know the billing process. I know allowables. I know all of that. I understand it. Now, if it were $1,900 to me, yeah, I might be able to deal with that. Or of the $1,900, the 20% was mine, or something like that. But I don't get it. I don't get it. It just drives me crazy. Do you struggle with that? Now, I had an in-home study done the first time. And you put these things on, you wear a headset and electrodes, and goes under your nose and all that. And I can tell you right now that I am a mouth sleeper. I've had sinus issues all my life, and I breathe out of my mouth, even when I'm running or walking or stuff like that. I noticed that walking back from the Badger game, I was huffing and puffing. I don't know why. I'm working out 2-3 times a week, but this isn't good. I mean, it's just this discrepancy: $6,900 to $1,900. There's something wrong there. Wouldn't you say there's something wrong there? We live in 2022. What's going on there? Anybody got any ideas on this? Or do we just bite the bullet on it? Well, here's my thing. Here's my 2 cents in this, is that I'm not doing it. Now, some of you out there are going to go, well, Bill, if you've got sleep apnea, you got to deal with it. I would rather take $1,000. $1,000. Well, $1,000 is going to be a stretch anyway, and get coaching every day of the week, along with a nutritionist, to see if I could probably drop 20 or 30 pounds and see what happens there. Instead of paying $5,000 to take a nap with electrodes to my head and then go in and get the CPAP. You know the CPAP's coming. You know what the CPAP is coming. Yeah. This insurance stuff just drives me crazy. So this is the second thing, by the way. The first thing was that, as a lot of you know, I dislocated my shoulder, popped my shoulder, lifting weights. I've been, almost a year now, coming up on at least twice a week working out with Craig Kuchenbecker. Craig's been in the studio. You've heard the stories. And I'm up to almost 8 pounds of muscle weight that I've gained, which is a good thing. Muscle's good, fat's bad. And so I hurt my shoulder. I went to Brian Reeder. Love Brian Reeder. He is the doctor extraordinaire. If you have an orthopedic thing happen, especially with your kids or anything like that, go see Brian Reeder. He's a no-nonsense doctor. And so I was there, and to make a long story short, ended up with one of the surgeons to see if I was going to be going under the knife. Now, I've had 3 shoulder surgeries for rotator cuff repair. And again, this one's torn. Not all the way. They call it a full tear, but it's hanging on by like a 1/4 of an inch, maybe an 1/8 of an inch. I have no pain. I have no discomfort. I have a little bit of weakness depending on the angle of things I do, but I've been working on that with weights and less. So I go have a consult with the surgeon. I got to tell you, as I'm going there, Dr. Prosser is who I went to. Great guy. Oh, man, he's just awesome. I kept thinking he's going to say we're doing surgery, because surgeons like to cut, That's what they get paid to do. They don't make money unless they got somebody they're cutting. Well, I guess when they're doing consultations, they make money too. So I go in, I spend maybe 15 minutes with the doctor, 20 minutes with Prosser. And Prosser's like, I wouldn't do surgery. He says, because blah, 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 blah. He says, I'm doing well. The weightlifting and everything and the exercise is the reason for that. No pain, no discomfort. Keep strengthening what you can and go with that. Because if they were to do a surgery, they'd have to actually use a cadaver part into my shoulder, which would take over a year to rehab. He says, so that's last course. We're not doing that unless we have to. Okay, I'm cool with that. I agree with it. He talked to Brian Reeder. Brian talked to me again. It was great. It was good. I was tickled with this whole thing. I get the bill. At like 15 minutes, like $340. And of that, I'm responsible for 200 and something because Dean only paid like $100 and some. Oh my gosh. Don't know what I'm paying for. Maybe it'd be better not even have insurance. Don't know. Nobody else has thoughts on this though. So, but there's another thing: healthcare, health insurance. Everybody's afraid of not having health insurance. Oh, everybody should have health insurance. Yeah. Ooh, $5,000 to do a sleep study to see if I'm going to die or not. I know, right? Got about 10 minutes left of the show. Let's go back and play a couple of songs, and then I'll come back to wrap up the show. Hope you guys are going to have a great week. It's going to be beautiful. Don't forget the S word is coming in. They said possibly by Friday, where it'll be 49 degrees. Oh my gosh. I tell you. How about a little bit of Foreigner and Jukebox Hero right here on 103.5 WLSP. Good morning, everybody. Glad you could join me. Oh. this studio is schizophrenic.
Yeah? What's going on here?
It goes up to like 85 degrees, and then it drops down to like 70 degrees, 65 degrees.
Oh,
It goes up, and it goes down.
It's like that.
Is it? That's why I came dressed like this.
Yeah.
Hey, Bernie, good morning. Melissa, good morning. Hey, Melissa, if you're still on, I want to talk to you about next Monday, if that will work with you. Have you in the studio? Let me know. I always like being stuck in the middle with you, Sun Prairie, and glad that you could join me. Hey, I want you to have a great week. Join me on Wednesday at 11 o'clock. Join Laura Stanfield and I at 11 o'clock on Wednesday, and we'll bring you the latest trends and give you the information and the education that you could use to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. It's a good thing just to hear some of this, and we'll have some of that information coming up. We're going to be talking more about apartments. We're going to be talking more about interest rates and what's going on out there, and we'll give you up to date. And Jody, good morning. Glad you could join us. I am out of here, and talk to you on Wednesday. See you then at 11 o'clock. Bye now. Facebook, you guys are awesome. Jody, good to see you. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Hey, we got to get together. Grab lunch or something. All right, Facebook, you are out of here. See you guys. Have a great week, all right? And thanks for joining me. I appreciate it.